don't just slip on a banana peel and land between your legs. We shoot it straight in here, baby. And you know what? As women, sometimes we just have to be honest enough to say, you know what? That hurt me. But you let him invest his heart and soul and his money and his time. And then you sit up in front of this court and in front of me as a woman and suggest, oh, you just did that to get what you wanted to get out of it. What does he want to get out of it? It was gonna be about you.
Nathaniel Webb and his girlfriend, Aubriana Reams, are in court to dispute Tasha Cole and her mother's claim that Webb fathered Tasha's 6-month-old daughter, Majestic. Tasha asserts that Webb denies paternity to protect his relationship with Aubriana. Oh, this looks like there will be loads of drama. Let's dig in.
All right, so Mr. Webb, how can you be so certain you are not the child's biological father?
I never had sex with her, Your Honor.
Well, that would rule you out. You've never had sex with her?
No.
Yeah, he did.
She's a liar. She's crazy.
Ms. Cole, we've heard a lot of defenses in this courtroom.
This is a tricky situation. Is it possible to father a child without being intimate with its mother? I don't think so. Plus, Mama Cole said Webb stayed at her daughter's house, and she and her husband took care of him. So, things don't add up.
You know dang good and well that me and my husband took care of you the whole time you were there.
I didn't see you but one time the whole time I was there.
Yeah, you were in her.
All right, let's get some order.
You're a sideshow. You need help just much.
Let's get some order. So, Ms. Cole, you said you and your husband were taking care of Mr. Webb?
Yes.
There are only two explanations for why Webb could stay with another woman. Either they were in a non-exclusive relationship, or Webb wasn't her boyfriend then. Who would be okay with their partner staying at someone else's place, even for a short visit? Webb's girlfriend jumps into the conversation just as this question hangs in the air.
I've known him for 7 years, and he is not like that at all. And you called me, and you called me with his friend telling me that he was there for 3 weeks and you guys were having sex and blah, blah, blah. At first, I did believe that. But then I heard his story, and none of it. Shut up, I am talking.
Hold on, let's be respectful.
So anyway.
Nobody does, Judge. Not a single person. Webb denies responsibility for Tasha's pregnancy, claiming he argued with her about it over text. However, Tasha alleges Webb previously admitted to being the father.
Ever acknowledge that he was the father?
He admitted to my
dad. You are a liar.
He admitted to my cousin that he was the dad.
What do you think, Mr. Webb, is Miss Cole's motive if you say you've never slept with her? Why manufacture all of this?
I think she's obsessed with me.
This is getting exhausting. Now there's some confusion about who Tasha's baby daddy is. Initially, it seemed like it wasn't Webb, but her due date made her suspect it might be him. Her explanation clarifies things a bit. Let's see what she has to say.
For certain that the other guy was the dad until my due date got changed a month ahead, which would make him the dad. It went from February 22nd to January 28th.
You submitted a calendar to the court, am I correct? Oh, you have another copy. Jerome, let me see that, please.
Well, despite Tasha's explanation, Webb insists she's wrong. That quickly died down, and the judge decided to get into the whole partying situation.
If it goes on that long, are you sure that one night of partying didn't lead you to sleep with her and you may not even recall?
You know, I've actually...
Or want to admit in front of your girlfriend?
Yeah. No, I've thought of the possibility. Yep. Me and her have had this conversation over and over. She knew I was over there partying. I didn't hide nothing from her.
Oh, wow. At this point, someone needs to hold Tasha. Or better still, she needs to stay out of Aubriana's sight, or else she wouldn't like what's coming for her. Webb's girlfriend was beyond mad when Tasha made that nasty statement.
Plenty of times. It's about
I've known him
for 7 years.
It's about that big.
Definitely not. And don't you dare tell him about his penis.
To find out if he's the father. I was without my father for 39 years. I want to know that my grandchild has a father. It's pretty bad.
It ain't me.
Not having a dad.
Everything just keeps getting worse and wilder. At some point, they all started to argue about baby Majestic's skin color, which was not even funny. None of their testimonies seemed to provide a solution to the issue of Majestic's paternity. We all know only one thing can definitely help, the DNA test result. I'm eager to find out what the result says. Let's find out, shall we?
Mr. Webb, you are not her father.
Yeah, you're crazy. You need to go to a mental hospital.
Ms. Webb.
There, get her there, get her there.
Mr. Webb, Ms. Reams.
But I want a lie detector.
Listen, we don't clown in this courtroom.
This might feel like a win for Webb, but unfortunately, baby Majestic's biological father remains a mystery. Ultimately, as the judge acknowledges, the show's purpose is to determine the child's true paternity, regardless of personal rivalry.
I know you probably feel relieved, vindicated, but at the same time, there's a beautiful young baby whose life and paternity is still at issue. Ms. Cole, you stood firm in your testimony that you were intimate with Mr. Webb.
Yes.
And this other guy.
Yes, Your Honor.
Lopez is a mother to 2 children, Aliana and Noah. She is in court to establish that her ex, Horatio Carbajal, is their father. This comes after Carbajal and his family conducted a DIY DNA test on the children to determine paternity, which Lopez alleges was falsified. At the start of the case, Judge Lauren inquired about when the paternity doubts arose.
Paul, take me back. You meet each other.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I'm trying to figure out why was there ever doubt in the first place.
Well, I met her through a social network. She told me, hey, come see me, for the weekend or just one night. So I want to go see her. And that day that I want to go see her, we basically had sex that first night.
Lopez's testimony clarifies that Carbajal didn't plan to have a baby with her, yet they had 2 in 3 years. Meanwhile, Carbajal accused Lopez of being a gold digger, claiming she deceived him into thinking he was Aliana and Noah's dad.
She knows my
I don't
family.
care
She
about
knows,
money,
she knows my
okay?
family has money, and she knows I don't work.
I don't care about money,
work,
Your
right?
Honor. Growing up, I did not have a father, and I did not want my daughter growing up without a father.
Well,
It hurts me to know that she does not have him around. He says he's the father. He even has her name tattooed on his arm.
Hold on a minute. So, Carbajal was wholly convinced that Aliana was his daughter, right? But then it took a single photo, a picture of some random guy his sister's friend thought resembled the baby, for him to start questioning his paternity. That's unbelievable. Even Judge Lake was shocked to hear this.
Okay, so all you got is a picture on a cell phone and you go, oh, this guy looks just like my niece. I don't think my brother's the father. What other doubt do you have? Did you witness? Did you hear about her sleeping with other people?
My family was, when they were born, they didn't look nothing like us. My mom and my dad were saying
Your daughter did look
that
like you.
they had nothing related to us.
Looks like Mama Lopez is ready to defend her daughter. She jumped in to speak as soon as the Carbajals made their accusations. Judge Lauren even had to intervene and seat Mama Lopez next to her daughter so she could talk. What will Mama Lopez say?
That you'd like to add? They're saying they were at the hospital. You say they weren't?
They were at the hospital after they were born. I was there when Aliana was born, when she was being pulled out of my daughter. Second time around, he wasn't there either for the Noah's birth. I was there for Noah's birth. I was there for both babies.
Why could I be?
Why is it?
Because you were never
Yeah, I was
around.
gonna go.
You changed your phone number.
Mama Lopez might be onto something with her picture theory. After all, the Carbajal sister relied on a photo herself to rule out her brother as the father. Now the tables are turned, and Carbajal is using a physical feature, Noah's cleft lip, which, according to him, isn't present in his supposed family, to argue against paternity.
Why was he born with the cleft lip?
Like that guy.
Why was he born with the cleft lip?
That has nothing to do with genes from you
My
guys.
family does not have a history of cleft lip.
It doesn't
Well, you
matter.
Whether it's my mom or my dad's side.
So you have an issue regarding the fact that he has a cleft lip.
Yeah.
You say no one in your family's ever been born with
none
that.
of my
So
mom's
so
side
you
or
believe
father's
he's not
side.
yours.
Everything this woman says hurts her case the more. New evidence? I'm not surprised. The judge even brought up the Carbajal's DNA test again. Let's see what that's about.
Ms. Lopez, you say Mr. Carbajal perpetrated a DNA testing scam
Yes, Your Honor.
so that he could get out of taking care of the kid.
He did a paternity test that he bought from the store. I did not know about it until he gave me the results that came back.
Here we go again. More pointless arguments. Judge Lauren, hoping to avoid further drama, quickly moved on to examine Carbajal's over-the-counter DNA evidence.
So here are the results of the test, but I don't see any identification, no need for a witness signature, and you say one of the names is spelled wrong?
Yes, my daughter's first name is actually spelled wrong on there.
And so, Ms. Lopez, you're saying that this test is fraudulent?
Yes, I was not there to witness it.
The initial DNA test wasn't reliable and was discarded. Now, to determine whether Carbajal is the father, we need a new, accurate DNA test. Time to get the real DNA results.
Mr. Carbajal, you are not her father. Okay, now we have the answers for Aliana. We still have to get Noah's.
My mom wouldn't have spent so much money on those tests to
We
be
spend a
swabbing
lot of
other
money.
people.
We spend a
other
lot of
kids.
money to do those tests.
What a disappointment. Instead of waiting patiently for all the results to be presented, everyone just started arguing again. This prompted Judge Lauren to reprimand them for their childish behavior.
We have the results now from a laboratory-conducted DNA test, and you sitting up there still arguing about a home DNA test. Now I know you all don't have no sense. You're just looking for something to argue about. You're just looking for something to say.
The judge wasn't finished lashing out at Lopez. It's understandable why she was so upset with her. Lopez's testimony made the Carbajals look like the bad guys when she was the deceitful one.
Mr. Carbajal, you are not Noah's father.
Thank you, Your Honor. What do you gotta say? What do you gotta say for yourself? Why you been lying to me that they're my kids when they're not?
And you know, my
Who you
mom
been
got really
sleeping with?
attached to them. You know how much that's gonna hurt my mom?
Yes, I do.
Jason Deggs believed he was Jason's father because Garen told him so. When Jason was 6 months old, Garen admitted Deggs might not be his biological father due to her infidelity, which Deggs already knew about. How did Deggs discover Garen's cheating?
At the time, we were moving out of my best friend's apartment, and it was just about that I got the truck loaded up with everything. And I went upstairs to grab my last box, and my best friend at the time pulled me aside and told me him and my brother had both slept with me.
What?
I was hurt.
They both.
Wow, that's unbelievable. I never would have guessed this would happen. It's crazy that she cheated on her boyfriend with both his brother and his friend. Even the judge was surprised and wanted to know how she ended up in this mess.
Garen, how did you end up with his best friend?
Well, honestly, it just happened. I didn't do it out of spite towards him or anything. It's not because I'm a bad person. At the time, I was lacking affection from him. He was never home. He was always...
I work, Your Honor. I work full time to make sure that her nails and her hair get done.
After he would get off
to make
work,
sure
he
that she
never
was
came
happier.
home.
This is a disaster. Not only did she cheat, but she showed no regret. Apparently, Deggs cheated too, making things even in her mind. Afterward, they even had a baby together, with Jason by her side the whole time.
Yes, he was there.
I cut the cord. I've been there since day one, taking care of this baby and this woman. Honor, I was there. And then she has the nerve to wait.
Mr. Deggs, you thought this child was yours.
Something.
Yes, Your Honor, I sure did.
No doubts in your mind. You're going on about your life.
Ready to
with
get
your
my
new
family
baby.
established.
Judge Lauren dropped the truth bomb. The courtroom tension didn't ease though. Garen and Deggs kept arguing about who the worst parent was, and things took a turn when Deggs' ex, Marshall, stepped up to the box. She firmly declared that Deggs absolutely takes better care of their son, Jason, than Garen ever could.
And I
You
couldn't do
cheated
that
on
to
him.
Jason.
Why don't you tell the truth?
So
You cheated on him
basically,
too.
you're here today
Father.
because you feel as if Jason, Mr. Deggs, is a better parent than Ms. Garen.
100%. Oh my God.
Thank you. You may be
100%.
seated. Ms. Garen, this is complicated because you have a new boyfriend and you say he's also stepped up.
Felton, Garen's boyfriend, naturally took on the role of Jason's father figure. He insists he isn't replacing Deggs as Jason's biological father, but does his best to support Jason. Garen has grown accepting of this, as she hopes Deggs isn't Jason's biological father.
Now, no, I do not want Jason to be the father because every weekend it's drama. It's another girl.
Mr. Deggs, what do you want from today?
I want to be in
Goes
Jason's
on.
life. I love Jason
That's why
with
he's
all my
called us
heart and
for the
soul.
last-
And if he is your son, are you willing to step up?
The wait is over. It's time for the big reveal. Let's see how that goes, shall we? Did anyone else catch what that woman just said? Unbelievable. After all they've been through, that's her response to the revelation? This is unbelievable. Even Judge Lake seems stunned.
Taking care of a 3-year-old child.
I am disgusted that you would perpetrate this lie on this man during your entire pregnancy up through a delivery room, let him cut the cord on a baby I know you know good and well.
But the judge wasn't even close to finished. She unleashed a verbal beatdown on Garen. Did this shame Garen into an apology? Absolutely not. Not even a crumb of remorse for Deggs. Instead, she had the nerve to do this.
Still trying to be involved with me and also being...
Oh,
Yes,
I should have
that's the
known.
root of it.
I should have known it was gonna be about you.
It's not about me.
Now, You're standing here, and the only one emotional on the brink of tears is him.
Thomas and Nelson have been together for 6 years and have 5 children. However, Nelson now questions whether he's the biological father of their youngest child, Jakai. Thomas believes Nelson's recent marriage to someone else might be the reason behind his doubts.
I believe Mr. Nelson is denying your baby.
The only thing that I can think of is because he recently got married.
Is that true, Mr. Nelson?
No, it's not, Your Honor. It was good in the beginning when we first started having children. And then after that, it's like me and her started like both doing our own little thing.
Nelson doubts their son's paternity, accusing Thomas of having had affairs before their child's birth. However, Thomas denies this. It's hard to imagine how they reached this point after claiming to be a happy and loving couple.
Our relationship, it was good. That was my best friend. We did everything together.
Take your time. I know it's hard. You have...
Your Honor, we was both young at the time, and we was both new to the whole parent thing. After that, we done got older and grew, and it's like we grew apart away from each other, and I still, even while I'm married, I still be trying to keep it.
Despite a story that painted them as a couple who could overcome any obstacle, their relationship crumbled due to infidelity. Nelson's betrayal came first, followed by Thomas's. From what Judge Lauren pointed out, when Nelson discovered Thomas's cheating, their love story took a sharp turn for the worse.
So wait a minute, you had 4 children together and then you find out Miss Thomas is with another guy?
Yes, that's
How did you find that out?
The dude's picture was popping up on her phone.
It didn't start like that. He decided to leave because at that time we did grow apart.
I used to find stuff on her purse and everything. She'd be like, I'm going to work today.
It's heartbreaking. After 5 years and 4 kids together, Thomas and Nelson's relationship seems to be falling apart. Things took a turn for the worse when Nelson noticed signs that Thomas might be pregnant during a rough patch in their relationship. However, a pregnancy test came back negative, leaving them in a confusing and possibly strained situation.
And Your Honor, that same day he said that, we walked to the store and I took 2 pregnancy tests in front of him, and then they ended up negative, so I was not pregnant. I also had an app on my phone tracking my periods when I'm ovulating, and I have it right here.
Jerome, let me see that evidence.
Currently, it remains unclear how Thomas's sexual relationship with another man proves he could potentially be the father. Thomas's cycle calendar strongly suggests Nelson is the likely father. However, Nelson denies even remembering being intimate with Thomas on the day she alleges it occurred.
When I got back from North Carolina, I had went through her phone. She was like, every time I had sex with him, and this is after you left, I started having sex with this guy. So I was like, all right. So then I went back further in her calendar. I'm like, so what's these days for? She was like, because I said, so we was together then when you was doing it. She was like, okay, so well, I had a slip up.
Wow. Things just got even wilder. Nelson's wife, Courtney, is the woman he cheated on Thomas with when they were dating. And get this, Nelson is apparently still seeing Thomas even though he's married to Courtney. This situation is a total mess.
Mind you, he was cheating on me with her. I didn't know about her until I found out she was calling him through Facebook. And he was trying to lie then because we were still messing around even when he was with her.
I wish I had an old phone. I could show you.
I have text messages also that we still mess around still to this day.
Poor Courtney. She got dragged into their mess and ended up getting mixed in this terrible situation. Ever since she met Nelson, Courtney believed she had a wonderful husband. However, it turned out he was cheating on her with his ex, the one with whom he has 4 children. Now, in court, she's forced to reveal the details of this betrayal.
The video is dated April 3rd, which would have been, I guess, the first day or so that she had showed up in Greensboro. All I know is I saw her demeanor when she came around, and she was kind of like high-stepping. I'm like, okay, this is a person that's supposedly supposed to be so hurt. Like, why is she grinning? And then I saw his demeanor, and he looked guilty.
It is evident that this man has managed to manipulate these women, believing he can maintain relationships with both. However, it has not yet dawned on Thomas and Courtney that Nelson has been toying with them all this while. In fact, Thomas is convinced that Nelson will come back to her and their children, while Courtney sees their encounter as a one-time event. It got worse that these two started to quarrel over the man who had caused them both significant pain.
From wifey to side chick.
No, I'm not nobody's side chick because your husband is the one that tells me he wants to leave.
But that makes you a side chick.
No,
that makes you a side chick. We're legally married.
Wait a minute.
No, it does not. No, it does not.
Listen.
He told me he married you out of spite.
The audacity. Can you believe it? two grown women, supposedly with some semblance of sense, throwing all decorum to the wind. Their actions are a slap in the face of decency. It's enough to make your blood pressure rise. And if even a fraction of this mess is causing this much irritation in us, mere observers, just imagine the inferno of frustration raging within Judge Lauren after witnessing this shameless display.
He's sleeping with both of y'all, okay? So look, neither one of you are on a step higher than the other, because you may now be his wife, but that's the mother of all his children and maybe another one. You all both look miserable. I can see the look on your face, Mr. Nelson. You decided in your mind that it's possible for you to have both of these women.
Whew, that was very much needed. Perhaps it will serve as a wake-up call, a harsh reality check for Thomas, particularly for Courtney, to see the web of lies Nelson has spun around them. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. As the drama unfolds, Nelson's deceit unravels further with each passing moment. He paints a picture of marital bliss, claiming he and Courtney have forgiven each other's transgressions. At this point, the judge just wants to know what their plans are now.
What are you hoping for now? What do you want out of this?
I want him to leave me alone, honest. If he's gonna make his marriage work, let your marriage work. I'll try to move forward with my life. He texts me. He calls me and tells me how much he misses me and wants to be with me. It's not the other way around, and I have messages.
Wow, can you believe it? Courtney was devastated after hearing that, convinced her husband was over Thomas for good. However, it seems neither woman had learned their lesson as they erupted into another fiery argument. This time, Judge Lauren had enough and unleashed a barrage of harsh truths on them both.
Wait. Honestly, I don't feel no type of way.
Yes, you do.
If you're gonna make your marriage work,
Stop. There's no sense in standing here when the woman's just trying to acknowledge that both of you are in an emotional battle over a man who's taking advantage of both of you, and then you sit up and say you don't feel some kind of way.
This man has severely mistreated these women. Emotions have run high between them, and words have been exchanged, but Nelson remains indifferent to it all. That should speak volumes to them. Anyway, the main focus of the court session is to determine if Nelson is Jakai's biological father. We'll see how that unfolds shortly.
Mr. Nelson, you are the father. It's number 5.
I met him and he already had, 4 kids with her. So what's one more?
I'll tell you what one more is. One more means this isn't over. This child deserves to know his father.